Hello, everyone. Welcome to the May 29th edition of Systems Lab Live. I am curious to know from each and every one of you who is ready to spend less time in emails, less time in meetings, and more time getting the work done. Who's ready for that? Tonight, we are going to dive into the wonderful world of Coda. I love Coda. I've been using it since February 2023. And this has been a platform that I've been utilizing to say, okay, how can those that are in spaces where they are leading out projects, initiatives, whether you're in a nonprofit, whether you're in healthcare, whether you are uh, working for an entrepreneur, whether you are a CEO yourself, developing and working the work, as we like to call it, how do we best organize it? How do we best streamline what we're doing so that we're spending less time just going through our meetings and our emails, and we are just spending more time executing, getting through the tasks and everything. And so tonight, that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through this platform called Coda. We're going to first start off with what is Coda. We're going to go through some of the background of Coda. And I want in the chat for you all to tell me, what are some of the tools that you are working with right now? What do you use to organize all of your projects and your tasks? Because we're going to introduce this tool in such a way where you all are going to be pretty mesmerized about all of the capabilities of what you can do when you are working with you and your team. So first and foremost, put in the chat your name, where you're from, and what you're working on. And also four, I guess it's four things. Name. Yeah, we said name, where you're from, what you're working on, and what do you use to organize yourself? What do you use to organize yourself? So let's get it started. And I'm going to share my screen because we are going to dive right on in. And I don't want to waste nobody's time. I cannot believe this is the last Wednesday of the month. And so next week will be June. Who's ready for June? I actually am, kind of pretty much. All right. I'm actually going to take this little banner overlay situation off so that we can just make sure we're maximizing the screen. Okay. Let's get started, everyone. Welcome to Coda. You want to log in if you're on your desktop. If you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, you can definitely open up another browser. If you're on Instagram, welcome. Thank you all so much, Instagram fam. Now, what you'll want to do is just write down coda.ai. That is the web address. That is where you'll go to log on, and you will see this particular landing page right here. Now, I'm going to first state that I heard of Coda a while back. I heard of Coda a few years ago. I think I even signed up for Coda, and I didn't really know what it was at first because, let's be honest, since 2020, there's been an explosive amount of tools, all similarly saying the same thing. All right, here's what you can do to organize your projects, your teams, your tasks, to keep track of everything, to document. A lot of all-in-oneness. That's been the theme of many of our tools. Now, the one tool that you all know that I rock with since the 2020 days is ClickUp. So you already know it is a PM tool that I use to track all projects and programs. That's what I'm on. Now, I moved over into exploring in terms of documentation. What's the best way that I can document and be able to connect my projects and tasks? So ClickUp has since come up with so many different features. They got ClickUp Docs and everything. And so now Coda is a really cool platform where you can now bring all of your favorite tools together in one place. Now, what I love about this feature or this phrasing all in one is that Coda never sells itself as something this is the ultimate solution for whatever it is that you need to do for your life. What's going on, Kev? What's going on, Elena? So glad. And Shalonda, so glad to see you all. But yes, all in one collaborative workspace. And that's what it is. I like the fact that Coda will allow you to bring in your other favorite tools like Google Docs, like Whimsical, like Miro, Jira. They have other types of tools that you can use. And what you'll see here is that what they're looking to do is they're looking to help streamline all of the different areas that you work in, email, Slack, and they're looking to bridge the gap between all of your many tools and this one particular tool that can bring it all together. Me and Megan are in the same circles, ClickUp, and other spaces. And so I love the fact that she loves Coda. So we're sharing that in common. And I am super geeked that you really love that. Is it like Asana? Oh, I love that you asked that question. Let's take a break to answer that question because I think this is super super important. So, Asana is a project management tool. So what it does is that if you are managing your content, Elena, because you do such great content, you will be managing your social media in Asana. You'll manage it from start to finish, from the ideation all the way to the completion, right? From the idea to the writing to the drafting to the posting. So, Coda is a little bit similar to Asana because what Coda does is it is a collaborative doc. So what it does is that it actually brings in different types of tools. So it's almost like Notion. So I'll show you in a little bit what that's like. So stay tuned. We're going to get right on into it, but we're going to talk about all the different use cases of it. So that's the what do you call the that's where some of these tools teeter, where you can say that Coda and Asana are alike, but they share similarities because you can track your projects. Can you actually track your content creation? Absolutely. I do content creation inside of Coda. I also do my podcasting content in it as well. So it's really more of a it's kind of more of a preference thing. But Coda is also made for teams, but also for solopreneurs. Okay, I'm so glad that you got it. Yay. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So we're going to scroll through. We're going to scroll through. You'll see right here that it supports like almost like 300 apps. So many people can use it. And so I want to go in here and tell you about some of the key components that makes Coda different from Asana and different from ClickUp. So what you're looking at Coda is a blank sheet of paper. That's something that I definitely want to make sure that we understand, that Coda is like a blank sheet of paper. And so the background behind Coda is that it is really something that can bring together data. They brings together other applications like Jira, like Asana, like Slack, like Gmail, and there's also a really cool AI feature that they've just implemented this year. So this whole power of Docs is that the fact that you can do a lot of things to bring together data, words, information, and graphics. And I'm going to show you what that's like in just a minute. But I just wanted to just lay the landscape of how teams utilize Coda. So there's like 50,000 teams that use Coda to supercharge their workday. One of the use cases is write-ups. Write-ups are a huge thing in the tech world. They're a huge use case that you can use to do a few things. Number one is that if you want feedback, typically if you want feedback on a document, what do? You go and you attach an email. You attach a Word doc to your email and you send it around, or you send out a link and somebody comments on, the Word doc or the Google doc. What's really great about write-ups is that you can have many different people inside of the doc. They can write decisions on there. They can give their feedback on there, and you can literally get it instantaneously. So it works a little bit different from a Google doc because write-ups really make it more effective for everyone to participate. People can do things like vote on topics. They can go in, add their particular perspectives to it in such a way that a Google Docs can't. Coda's infrastructure is a little bit different. I'm not into the what do you call like the the UX and the UI of things. That gets into a little bit of the more technical aspect of it, but we can get into that like offline. Okay, cool. So another cool use case is for teams and for hubs, right? So another big issue that a lot of teams have when they are working together is they are often, confused about, okay, where do I go for information? One of the things that also has plagued me as well is when you are working with a team and you have multiple projects, you have to keep up with tasks, you have to keep up with information, you have to keep up with where to centralize it. And so Team Hubs is a coined term that Coda uses, but also in other different apps, they use this term too as a hub. But it's a place where you can have your timelines, your tasks. You can put your what they call wikis, like your handbooks. You can put proposals and strategies. This is where information lies. So why? So you don't have to go and constantly be pinging somebody to say, "Oh, where does this document being saved?" Or where do I go find this information? Building out a hub helps take care of all of those questions that are the back and forth, right? Through email, through Slack, through Microsoft Teams, wherever it is that you are constantly communicating. It really cuts all of that down. Creating a hub really helps empower your team members to find the information so that they can go and they can execute. All right. Now, as we work our way down, and we're going to go through a couple of live use cases as well. We'll go through one more that Coda has up, and then we're going to go through a couple that I've set up myself, and I'll show you how it works. Now, let's see, for trackers, again, you can do some really cool things in here where you can go and you can set up what is it called? OKRs, objective key results or SMART goals. So you can track your project progress in here. You can track tasks here as well. I want let's see, I'm going to go and inside of Coda. So I'm going to go to consolidate your tools. So one thing that Coda speaks about a lot is it enhances, reduces, and replaces a dozen of apps. So many people often say, hey, Ashley, I have so many different types of apps. I have Google Docs, I have Notion, I have my PM tool, I have Whimsical, Miro, I have all of these tools. Okay. Can't I streamline? Can't I get rid of some of these tools? And I always say that it depends, to be quite honest. I always say it depends because I don't know your processes, I don't know your workflows, but I often get into some really good conversations on how people are working on their day to day. One of the things that I've done personally with Coda is I've stopped using Airtable. So, a core feature of Coda is databases. Now, I am huge on collecting information. So, some examples of that is if I am tracking people that I'm meeting with, coffee chats, discovery calls, what else? Yeah, podcast guests, things like that. I'm often tracking the people. Who am I meeting with and why am I meeting with? So I would set up some automations that Airtable would track for me. I also would have a tracking mechanism to track any time that I posted to Instagram. So it would take any time that I posted, it would take the graphic, the caption, and the link, and it would go and put it into an Airtable database. And that was great because I get to look at what I posted. I would rate how my content performed. It was really great for that. But as soon as I started to look into Coda and see all the cool things that I could create, I was like, man, I can pay less, and well, I can get rid of Airtable and then also pay for Coda, which is less. So, it's just wonderful. And then when you think about SOPs, there's always the argument of, or the debate rather, of, oh, should I use ClickUp 3.0 or, sorry, ClickUp Docs, or should I use Notion, or should I use Google Docs for SOPs? Now, that question is, again, and it depends because I don't know necessarily like your processes or the way in which you're working. But what I would say is this: if there is a technical challenge that you or your team has, I would always say go with what's easiest at first. Then if you want to go further and make sure that your information, like documenting a process like a podcasting guest process, and you wanted to make sure that it's more connected to how you're managing your podcast season, or your podcast episodes on a weekly, or on a weekly basis, then what I would do is I would say to myself, all right, team, let's move our SOP over to this particular tool, because now the information in which that we are conducting our podcasting process, we're more connected to the day-to-day tasks. So that's why ClickUp developed the docs feature. That's why it upgraded to ClickUp 3.0, because you can then develop all of your SOPs. You can create an SOP database. You can connect them to your tasks and different things. You can do all sorts of really fun stuff. Now, for me, this is just me. I think there is something to be said for placing your documentation in one particular tool that everybody can reference. And I don't think it's necessarily a big deal that you don't have your SOPs inside of your PM tool, whether that's Trello or whether that is Asana or another project management tool. So for me, I needed a way to just go to a place where I can create playbooks, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And I wanted a place where I can just document what I'm doing, and I can make a quick transition over to my PM tool. So I just have those. I just mainly use Coda, and I mainly use ClickUp. And that's really it for a lot of my day-to-day projects. Cool. Honestly, oh, what's going on, Essie? How are you doing? Anybody have any questions so far? I know that we are going over a lot of the just sort of the mechanics of Coda and everything, but yeah, let me know what kind of thoughts y'all have on this. I love Coda a lot. I'm going to show you all ways that you can streamline your meetings and different things like that, and some really cool use cases. Okay, cool. I always like to look at their website too as well, because I think they have a really great way of telling a story. Okay, it enhance your must-have tools. So I just want to reiterate too as well that Coda never says like you need to get rid of everything. They're really big on what are the other tools that you use, and bring them all together. Bring it all together. So I'm going to go into my Coda doc. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull up this Coda doc so that you can see what I've done with it. Cool. So you can exactly see. So we're going to go, and I'm going to stop my screen, and then I'm going to show you, if you are a podcast manager or podcast producer. And the reason why this is a Coda for project managers, because to be quite honest, many of us are in untraditional, unconventional spaces where we may not be called project managers, but listen, it is the title that we have. So we may be called podcast managers, we may be called online business owners, we may be a business analyst. So I love to play around with that title and make sure that people understand that you, my friends, may be in different positionings in title and whatnot. Okay, so this is my podcast. I'm actually going to rename my doc because it's really a playbook, a podcast playbook. So if you all can see this, I think you can. I will zoom on in if you cannot. But here's the first use case, and then we'll get into some more traditional forms of other use cases. So here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a podcast episode planner. This is what I use to plan and script out each of the podcast episodes for this past podcast season, Conversations with Ask Ash. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Again, this is a doc. Okay. Now, similar to Notion, this was a blank slate. What I did here is I put a nice little graphic right here. I put a a playbook, um, the heading right here. And this is my living document that outlines my own podcast journey, including my podcast goals, my workflows, my brand awareness, and monetization goals. This right here is like my table of contents. Not all of this is built out, but I want you to start visualizing again how information can be centralized and the way in which it is presented. I like the foundations because in here, this is where you go for the origin story. So this is when I'm going to revamp my podcast. I am going to be putting in my origin story. I'm actually going to be going through a few messaging prompts and some exercises that I got from a podcast class. So I needed a way to say, okay, if you're going to work on this project, you need one single source of truth. So this is my foundations of how I'm going to go about restructuring my podcast. It's going to be right here. It's going to be right here. So now, speaking of the way in which you can integrate other tools inside of Coda, look at this. You can integrate Google Docs. Look at here. Because this was a part of a program that I was a part of, I said, let me just go ahead and continue to utilize Google Docs because I was already writing inside of here and just integrate the page inside of here. Look how easy and seamless this is. Easy and seamless this is, okay? This is the best. Okay. And what else can you do? Well, I'm so glad that you asked. You can also put in Google Slides. Look at here. Talking about Gemini. So this is again the first exercise that I'm going to do, the second, and then the third. Now, what else is in this doc? Podcast OKRs, objective key results. It's blank right now because I need to think through what are my goals for my own podcast. So I'm going to keep developing this. So let's take a moment to take a step back before we kind of go into all of these different aspects of this playbook. Now, if you are going to hire a podcast editor, hire someone to do your social media, hire someone to help edit your podcast. This is a perfect opportunity where you can add someone to this doc to help you to manage the process. So whatever part of the process that they own, maybe they own the content creation. So if that was the case, let's say I was going to hire someone to write some show notes, or they were going to do content for me. Here's what we're going to do. I would then do this. I would add a new page. So, and I'm not sure if you guys can see this. It says new page on the bottom. If you're on Instagram, it might be a little bit hard to see, but you'll be seeing this in just a minute because we have a slight delay. So I'm going to go with podcast content creation. Now, again, let me see if it was content. Let's see. We'll just go with this. Podcast content creation. Okay. So one of the bread and butters of Coda is databases. Now, of course, you can write like normal, like write like a Word doc. You could write like you would if you use Apple Notes or any other type of writing platform. Of course, you can write as much as you want. But the power of Coda lies inside of databases and information and connecting the information. Okay, let me make sure this makes sense. So what I'm going to do too is I'm going to do a quick summary, which is going to be a quick little call out. What I'm going to say here is, welcome to the podcast content creation database. This is where you of the information for creating content. Okay. So I'm going to click the slash command. So again, you all are seeing something that is very familiar. Again, if you are a Notion fanatic, if you are in ClickUp Docs, if you are in any sort of platform that has that slash command, you already know what it is. It has so many different prompts and templates and all these different things. So I'm going to go with database, or maybe it's table. Let's go with table. Boom. It's going to be a new table. Okay. And this is going to be podcast content. So I'm going to put right here, I'm just going to title of post. I'm going to say format. And I'm actually going to go with, again, the column type. This is why it was super easy for me to transition, because I was like, this is very similar to how Notion would work. And I'm going to put IG Reel, IG Carousel, LinkedIn Audiogram. Let's see, or maybe video. Well, we already put video would already be IG Reel, IG Carousel. I'm just going to go off of what I'm just on LinkedIn 90% of the time. Well, it's the number one platform, and then Instagram's my secondary one. So it's either going to be a reel or a carousel, or maybe an IG graphic, like a graphic pic, or just LinkedIn text. Sometimes that is like a text and photo. Okay. So that's the format. And so you can select here, and we're going to do a status. And so I'm going to go with, if we go to select list, oops. Let's see, select list. We're going to go here, status. And so it'll tell you not started, in progress, blocked. I'm actually going to edit this, edit column. I'm actually going to say hold. Yeah. And right here, this is a canvas. So canvas, this is really important. Here's what you can do in the canvas view. In canvas view, you can create templates. This is what I love. And this is going to be super instrumental when you have a podcast contractor come on board and will help you with the writing of your content. So I love this already. So I'm going to go right here, and we're going to display it as a canvas. And so what we'll do here is we're going to click the three dots. We're going to add a sub page. Inside the sub page is, and I'm going to actually test a couple things out. I'm going to say, this is what do I want to do? I think what we'll want to do is we'll want to do the caption. I see. Content template. This is what we'll want to do. We'll do it like this, and we'll say hook, caption, CTA, and then CTA. That's what we'll do. So when you go into the notes section and you want to edit column type, we're going to select canvas, and we're going to search. Hold on one second. We are going to search for, what is it? Content template. Hold on. Content. Ooh, do I got to go back? Content template. So we'll go right here, and it will automatically fill in. So what we'll do here is I'm actually going to delete this row because we won't be able to see it. But look how simple this is. If I say the title of my post is explainer episode, I'm actually going to go with an IG reel. My status, I'm going to say it's in progress. And oops, and right here, when I open this up, it automatically has pre-populated the hook, the caption, and the CTA. How simple is that for when you can go in and again have someone come in and walk alongside you to create this content? It's already right there. Mm, this is great. What we'll want to do too as well is we'll want to put in a due date. Okay. We'll want to put a due date. And then we'll also want to put a people in here, like responsible, like assigned to as well. I think this would be super, super beneficial as well. And then if there's a link, maybe there is a link to the content, you can put a link right here as well. So this is pretty dope just in terms of being able to create and track your podcast content in such a really cool way. Now, here's where it gets really, really fun. If I go into episode planner, and let's say I wanted to make sure per episode, I wanted to hook up and make sure that, let me go right here. So if I wanted to make sure that in the explainer episode that I had the script and the publishing date and the link and the show notes all right here, I want to open this up and listen. I have all of my notes here from last season. All of the notes are right here. What I want to do is I want to actually add a section where it actually will link the content that content planner that we just put in here. I want to link that right here. So let me show you all what I'm thinking through. If I'm going to add this column, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a relational database, and I'm going to put the podcast content right here. I'm going to create a column, and what we'll see here, what we'll see right here is explainer episode. So in the explainer episode, what you're going to see right here when you hover over this, you're going to see it's an IG reel. It's in progress, and you're going to see the notes and the due dates. How brilliant is that? That means that everything that I want to see for this episode is all in one place. Again, this is how my brain works, and this is how I'm thinking through everything. I'm thinking through to myself, all right, how do I go about documenting my show notes, my scripting, and it's all in one spot. I easily could do that with inside of ClickUp. I'm not saying that you can't, but the way that my brain works, I want to just track the task from start to finish. Anything that has to do with writing goes inside of Coda. Okay, so this is again a cool way for podcasters, for podcast producers, assistants, VAs. You all can contribute to the development of this podcast season. Whoever that you are working for, boom, this is all you, baby. Okay, so we're gonna dive into another part of this playback. So I'm gonna go with, actually, I'm gonna create a different folder. Let's do this. And this is gonna be our Coda. This is gonna be our Coda demo folder. So also too, you should know this as well, is that inside of Coda, you can do a whole lot of things. Like you can get so many different templates to get started. You can make your own. You can get inspired by real teams. You can browse templates. One of the things they also have too is they have packs. Packs are really cool because you can do all different things. Like you can integrate your Google Calendar, you can integrate your email, Dropbox, Spotify if you want to. And so, like right here, I have all different, I can do Slack, I can do Google Sheets, I can do Shopify. Ooh, we can do Shopify in here. It's very, very exciting, all what you can do. Let's see. You can send text messages as well. You can send all different types of text messages as well. Let's see. There's so many different things that you can do. Icons, you can add any type of icon that you want. If you've designed some icons, have at it. Make sure you can do that. Let's see, members and groups. This is how you add team members on here as well. If you want to invite people, you can invite them if you want to invite someone as like a doc, an editor, they can edit, but they can't make docs. A doc maker, that's what costs. But if you want to invite someone as a guest, as like a VA or like a podcast producer or another team member, yeah, you can add them right here. Docs are what cost because you're creating something new. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to go to the Coda demo folder. We're going to create a blank doc and we're going to show you how you can be able to lead out meetings, and you can begin to streamline information in such a way that's really going to make your everyday work experience so much better. So I want to show you a few things that you can do. So some fun things that you can do. You can always create an icon. So I always like to create like a little notebook thing that you can do right here. You can just name it and say, let's say this is like your wiki page. So let's do it. This is Ashley's Wiki Hub, Team Wiki Hub, Ashley's Team Wiki. Okay. So this is what we'll do. We are going to, I'm actually going to add a sub page. Here's a sub page. This is going to be the team page. And I'm going to do a quick call out. I always like call outs so that we know what it is. Welcome, team. Add your profile below. Okay. So we're going to do a table. Team profile. Your name. You can do your email. Phone. Let's see. What else do we want? Oh, like your picture? Let's do a picture. Image. Let's do a picture. Cool. Let's see. I actually want to do a subpage for this as well and say team profile. Let's do it like this. Let's do favorite memory. Favorite summertime memory. Let's just make it fun. Favorite summertime memory. H1. Let's see. Favorite food. Favorite vacation spot. Okay. And we also want to know like people's birthday because I think it's fun. Birthday. So again, something super, super quick. So this is a canvas. We're going to edit the column if you remember from before. And we're going to say this is team profile. So this is going to be Kaylee. No, or put the email. Oh, we'll want to edit email. We'll change that to email. And we'll change that to edit column type. Ooh. Phone. Oh, no. Phone numbers. We don't need that. I think it's fine as text. If you open this up, boom, the prompt is there and it's easy for people to add their information. Super, super easy for people to add information. All right. So we've done the team wiki page. What I want to do next is, man, I want to manage my meetings. Because, team meetings. There's just a lot going on, folks. There's always a lot going on. So we're going to do a call out. I'm telling you, you can set this up literally under 10 minutes. Welcome to our team meetings page. Here's where you can add agenda topics and review notes. Okay. We're also going to choose an image that, let's see, I'm going to do notes. So this is our notes. All right. We're going to go to table. We're going to start a blank table. Team meetings. Okay. You also can, and I want you all to know this too. This is why you can do it less than 10 minutes, is that there's so many templates. You can go and say meeting notes. And if you go, let me click on this so you guys can see. Boom. You can add this right here. You are literally only editing whatever it is that you need. They have this is dummy data for, adding in by person, the date, the notes. You can open it by canvas. You can put pictures in here. Look at this. This is so great. So I'm going to delete this so that we can see how you can do it if you wanted to just customize this. So I'm just going to delete this and then we can do this from scratch. So I'm going to actually replace this and put edit the column. I'm going to put the date, meeting date. I'm going to put meeting date. And we're going to have a meeting date, which is today. I'm actually going to add in here. I'm going to change the column type to people. So this is going to be added by. We're going to still make this text and we're going to put this agenda topic. And then what we're going to have here is, and I'm going to put this here. Like I said, you all can tell I'm a big fan of all things templates. So we're going to have meeting template 1. So in this, we're going to have agenda topic number 1. And we are going to make it 2, 3. We'll do 1, 3, and 4. I'm actually going to put in H3 and put notes, keynotes. And I actually want to change the color of this. I'm going to put these in yellow. This is how you can just make a lot of stuff really, really fun. I'm actually going to even put dividers in here so we can just divide this. Line separator. Put this here. Okay. It's just really I just enjoy this a lot. I'm going to put this as an H3. I'm going to put this as an H3. I'm going to put this as, look at that. I think this is pretty sweet looking. I think this is pretty cool. So that's how you can go and have these agenda topics. I actually think too is one thing that I also want to put here as well is questions. I think that would be a really good one. So if we were to have one to prepare for tomorrow, I'm going to put me as I have right here. I'm put a checklist to say meeting status, or meeting status. I want to talk about, let's see, task 1.8. Okay. And this is cool because you can put them, and this is, this is more of a preference thing if you want to put the topic here. And then if you just wanted to clearly put notes in here, you could have somebody to, be able to, you can track what you're going to talk about right here. Oops. Oh, I forgot to put this column type, edit the column type, but we didn't put the canvas thingy in here. That's okay. It is meeting template 1. Okay, cool. I don't know if it will, no, it won't populate, which is fine. It'll populate here though. It'll populate right here. So a great way, and again, this is a really excellent use case for you to go and be able to, again, track your notes, come back to it. This eliminates having a lot of follow-up meetings because they are right here. You can go, if there people have questions, they can add questions right here. This is a great way, once again, where you can go and be able to track your information. You can be able also to add in tasks as well. So if you put in a task tracker as well, you can definitely do something where you can even like link a task, which I think it would be pretty cool to do as well. So, and we're just going to go to, and why not? Because it's 8:57 and we will round everything up. You can actually choose this right here. Boom. This is your task. So I'm actually going to put, rename this mega task 1. If I were to go into a team meeting and say, okay, maybe I want to be able to, let me see, relation. Maybe I'm like, okay, I need to make sure, that I'm able to talk about the launch plan for this meeting. Like we need to talk about the launch plan. And maybe we also want to talk about, let me see, what's the other one? Squash bugs. If you wanted to reference a task, I want to reference squash bugs. Did we ever finish the discussion on this? This is brilliant. Why? Because you open this up, and if someone again has a question about something, they can also be able to also at somebody else as well and basically mention somebody else, and that particular person will be notified, and this particular task, if you open this up, ooh, you can go and look at, you can look at the task and see if it hasn't been started, or you can change the due date, or you can add a column in here that has notes in here and begin to add in more information. So one of the lasting things that I want to talk about when it comes with Coda is that Coda is as powerful as the data and the information that you input in here. It is all about being able to look at the information. It's about how you can utilize this information and be able to bring it together. You can then be able to link the information together, have the data, be able to have the data speak to one another, and you can make really great decisions. One thing is for sure about Coda and how you can utilize it is that you are eliminating a lot of miscommunication. Everything is documented. You go back to the notes, you go and you reference different parts of the doc, whether it's your tasks, whether it's an SOP, whether you mention somebody. You can do a lot of work without having to be in each other's faces on a Zoom call or even in person. But this is not to replace all communication, but this is to help enhance your work productivity. So I hope was a really good tutorial to really help to shape what you can do inside of Coda. Okay? Tell me what you think about this. This is probably a really cool, comprehensive view of this particular app. But yeah, thanks you all for hanging out with me. And we'll talk soon. We'll be back next week. Peace.